Nope. Swiss tossed the coin and it landed on a goated match.
We set our sights here onto Split. As you've already mentioned, very good map for both of these teams. It's going to be mind games on mind games, I'm sure, as we get deeper and deeper into the series. I mean, we attribute a lot of the strengths of both of these squads down to their retakes, the fundamentals. Maybe we might see that being picked apart.
KC looking to see if there's any aggression at mid here. Sentinels, you can see just from their pistol round buy, they're not planning to go for an aggressive pistol strat. Zekken did not buy the blast packs, go for the boombot instead. Full utility on the Sky, looking to try and play a more defaulty pistol. Punish the aggression from KC, which may be happening in mid actually, as Thomas took a little bit of damage.
Almost first blood going away. Sentinels here, just a bit of chip damage and away. Narrate spamming back and forth, exchanging with the bullets. No casualties. It is so slow going.
I was taking a look at Magnum and Martine, who were thinking about getting information over towards B Heaven, but they didn't actually spot that SEN are going for the walk-up.
Contacts on contacts, but a stack of KC. They've got the players here. Pull, triggered, Prowler through, along with the decoy. A lot of noise being made.
And the mid-round audible here now. 30 seconds left. SEN, we're going to accelerate into the A side, but they're worried in case it's some kind of a trap. Well, Zelsis goes for more info, punished, but that is finally going to make the call. Sassy gets the spike down, planted for Heaven.
Exactly so, and I'm going to be paying close attention to this.
I mean, this is where the Sentinels protocols have been immaculate in Americas, constantly stopping their opponents from taking Heaven control. Playing so well around that area, understanding what their opponents want to do.
Absolutely, make the same argument for Carmen Core here. Paranoia being held and primed, ready and waiting. Was a flash to set that right up. Narrate will fall. Nade, unfortunate there, gets stuck into the wall. So no rebound for Zek, and the rest of now Carmen Core willing to just try and take the fight straight through into Elbow. That's going to be some ground gained, but oh my, the bodies falling and toppling. Pistol round for Sentinels.
Lovely performance, really well played, highlighting the strengths of SEN right from the beginning there, which is that they understand how their opponents want to play on Split. There is a meta that's developed over the course of probably the last year or maybe a little more, which is plan for Heaven, try to retake Heaven control as the post planners, and the retakers are going to end up flooding often around that Heaven area. And SEN are so good at anticipating what their opponents want to do and stopping them.
Yeah.
You see how they sent that flash just to disrupt what was happening. The timings were all perfect.
I'm sure they can upset some of that. Well, a little bit in the weeds there. I mean, just catching on to one another with the bodies, but they're going to be granted a ramp control deep in the position.
And this does look like a round where both teams have opted for the opposite side of things. KC stacking 4 players over towards B main, hoping that things were going to come into them. And instead, Sentinels getting a very easy A site. There was a lot of talk, Brent, in Americas after Sentinels went on their fantastic run about whether this version of them playing Split was just the best in the world. And for me personally, it looks awesome, but you have to see it tested at an event like this and go up against other top teams, like KC, for example, before you can make claims like that.
This might be one of the biggest tests they've ever had. Carmen Core, still danger here, even though they are on the eco round. You never want to count this team out, especially with how drilled they are. Look at them, playing together, pieced together, but so are Sentinels, always side by side, not leaving any gaps, nothing to chance. So it will be nice and easy sailed round. We'll shin the last one left, and time ticking away. We're going to be paying close attention as well if you want to talk about general matchups into this. I mean, on this map, we get an absolute treat, don't we? Narrate versus Zekken on the Razors with that head-to-head.
Yeah. I mean, what a head-to-head. That really is spectacular. And Tenz has moved off the Yoru on bind, just unfortunately exactly aligned with when he could have gone up against Martine, as we were thinking later on into the pool.
The roles might get funky. I mean, Narrate's playing all sorts. Flexing into the initiators.
But here we go. KC with rifles back online, and Sentinels with a great buy themselves. Second picks up the judge. He was talking about how much he was playing that on Split during his rank games since being in Madrid.
That was advice he gave me in Korea. He was like, if you're losing your rank games, just force the judge.
Well, we'll see how it works for him.
Getting in their faces. It was definitely working out the other day in their match versus Heretics. Trailblazer straight in the middle, up the gut, through the side. Prowler knifed. Zekken, he's set up for success and even more. He's deep now. Fox in the pen. Looks like he wanted to try and overextend, but now here we go, an attempt to try and reclear into mid. Trip, Broken John might be in some trouble, has to call for some backup and reinforcements. Fights happening all over the bloody place, yet still the movement is clean. Satchel there, Trip in his face, and the rate still wins that one out, but the side has been fully taken. Territory now for SEN. Comical forced to slow it down now. Side by side, Narrate and Shin going to be holding hands through this one, but they've got a lot to chew through.
This one way that Shin's looking to pop, very difficult for the Post Pandas to deal with. Celsius goes for a peek early on, trying to play Zekken in.
It's a bit of that information, yet close to Raptors, close to the corner. Narrate plucks him out. Now brings it to the 2v2 with an aid rebounding. Did they know? Did he expect it towards new box? Half clearance! Celsius just a one-and-done. Shin! That is nasty! Nasty business, man. That's a 2v3, and you can start to see it. The signs are live here for Carmen Court.
Yeah, that's a great work from both Shin and Narrate. But at the same time, a very expensive bonus round. Look at the economical difference here. SEN have so much more money to be able to work with. KC on the verge of not even being able to buy in this round. Great awareness, though, really well cleared. All of these different angles. Very fast from Shin, clearing out these two final players to trade Narrate too. So it's a big round, and Magnum gets on his feet early. But things do not get any easier. Like I said, the economy's in a really rough spot right now for KC. They're coming into this next round with 2 Bulldogs and a Stinger.
Money is odd. Look quite weak. Martin going to be set up in a 4 position, has the gate crash. Just to back out in case it's necessary. Sentinels opting for a much slower beginning, a bit of spam exchanged. Led Halen down on either side.
And KC's retakes have been fantastic. Both of these teams look amazing on the split retakes. But Sentinels will try and force the fights before that's even a possibility.
Flash. Chance for the repeat. Nades gonna fly straight past each other. Zekken, he's already way further ahead than anticipated.
It's just so good. The way that he breaks the Prowlers whilst continuing to scale, whilst continuing to move forwards. He's done it with the knife and with the run and gun movement with the Phantom there. It just ruins what KC are going for.
Mechanical ability off the charts. Tomsey feeling the heat, turned up, sent out the paranoia, but now backs away. Trying to play for the life. Giving up Heaven Control, gives up B as a result, but maybe I'll be able to just pick him apart from the side here. Is he going to get lucky with a few stray bullets? Not quite. Sassy. Minor bruises, basically. It's going to be that plant down now with 5 players up and kicking. Martin holding that flash out wide. Magnum not expecting it, not anticipating it. Showstopper now earned.
This is what I'm talking about. SEN forcing the fights before the retake can even happen. The swing timing there from Zekken was excellent. It shut this retake down before it could even begin. And KC were getting so many of these 4v5 round wins against FPX because FPX would, I mean, to be kind to them, throw it away. And SEN are just not going to do that. If they get up early, they have the discipline and the player strength to be able to close this out. They've been working on that since October. Both of these teams grinding away in separate regions. But I think one of the biggest things that we're seeing here that's allowed Zekken to get the entry both of these times is that he's just disrespecting the Prowlers. He knifed one of the Prowlers, got through and managed to get a kill with the Judge. And then this time,
just run straight past him.
Narrate thinks there that the Prowler's got a tag onto somebody, I think, or at least he's putting pressure on someone and giving him space to be able to swing. That is not the case. Zekken was so ready for that. He's 7-1 on a tag side split right now.
Dominating. Much like last night as well. I mean, Sentinels, talk about this team. Last one's out, first one's in. Haven't had much time to prepare for this one, but the form factor playing its part here. All the Sentinels players looking warmed up and ready. B main control. It's going to be the name of the game. So Sentinels are giving it basically for free, just the one snake bite in exchange for that one.
And most of this pressure has been coming through mid. This time, Zekken moves his way over towards B main. Tomaji might have gotten a spot there.
Oh, it's going to get explosive. Yeah, as soon as he spots that one, Paranoia. Good to send that one out, yeah. Actually fantastic, but still close to the corner. Ducks and weaves. How the hell is he getting that? Run target, but a take it most likely. The nade rebounds, and Zekken, man, he's going to build himself up to another one.
That's unbelievable. And a snipes Martin up there, I believe it was, with the showstopper, and then also gets a nade kill too.
Unreal. And SEN, easy as it goes, isn't it? Look at that, they can pick and choose the targets. Who wants to get the plan? Who wants to earn their ult next? Sassy, okay, you're up. Keep the war machine chugging.
And that's the big thing, right? Once you start to get momentum like this was only a bit of an anti-eco round. KC still had 3 rifles, if you want to call the Bulldog a rifle as well, but it wasn't a full buy for them. SEN used a big ultimate, but they managed to get another one online too. So this ult cycle is now going to start to push forwards, and things only get more difficult trying to hold off Zekken when he has the Seekers to be able to entry behind too.
It's a vicious cycle.
And this is all before we get to see SEN playing on the defense side, where I think they've also looked spectacular. In fact, might have looked better if you were thinking about how you weigh up their attack versus defense side split.
Yeah, I mean, I would make that argument. Defense side, they have so many different looks on it now. Carmen Court, as we've already mentioned, haven't really had time to pick themselves back up after the series of losses. The economy has never really been honest at any of these points. Look at them working with classics there for Magnum. I mean, now you're going to see, hopefully, a bit better weaponry. I mean, it's half armor, a couple of rifles, still the Bulldog being kept for Magnum. Of course, we can see this.
Yeah, and another opportunity for Sentinels to mix some stuff up. Zekken, by the way, still 10-1. Still yet to be punished more than one time. He's dominating.
Absolutely frying.
And this looks like, once more, the pressure's going to come towards mid. And Martin and Magnum have been trying to get aggressive in this area. They just haven't found the opportunities.
Attempt to take an early fight there, but Carmen Core looking a little bit out of sync with the high-low, but Martin's been pushed forward, so they want to fight this.
I think Martin is just looking to catch Zekken as he powers his way up mid, trying to position himself into an unusual spot.
Getting really close, Trailblazer. Using the close corner, Martin! Wasn't stunned up there, actually. Catch him, but still the trade's there. Does Martin not have his gate crash? I'm not too sure.
But he did a lot of damage to Sassy. So there has still been damage done there, even though it was a 1-for-1 trade.
Call is made.
Yeah, this push through is an excellent idea from John Cutie. No Sentinel on the other side for KC means that these gaps do exist.
They're going to be aware of the ramp players, though. Seekers, they should be now used. Spam down and spray down, so Narrate gets both of them.
Are they aware how deep John and Tens are?
It seems like it. Look at that, Narrate watching for the avenue as a game of time is, but he is going to be granted one. No way! Walked straight into him, should have been a freebie, was not. Shin, he's got so much more to do now. Perfect paranoia, that's 10 setting his team up, but will there be anything to capitalize? It's him himself. He'll the one to follow through, man.
Absolute dismantling so far. In terms of the entry in terms of the lurk play there too, it looked like Narrate had it. His crosshair's in the right place, but I don't think he anticipated the timing being that quick. And this puts an enormous burden onto Magnum and Tamaji.
Running away with the early section of this half here. Horn sent wide. Paranoia only on the one. Zelsis holds it down, but as the instantaneous trade, Thomasy does not expect that position. So it's 5-1. Sentinels really looking like just the mid-round calling. The ideas initially off the rip, even when KC seemed to get that minor advantage with the first kill, there's always that instant trade coming out.
No, they are absolutely crushing them right now in every department. These are the kind of banger matchups that when one team when you haven't had the opportunity to experience how the two clash and collide, you don't exactly know which way it's going to go.
No.
And when you see it play out like this, you're like, wow, this is spectacular, the way that SEN are just handling everything that KC are throwing at them. But I also feel like KC are not actually being able to define the tempo at any point in these rounds. Maybe this, an eco round where they can take more risks, could be the one.
This is the time to do it. Peeking wide, Shin will respect it now. Shows presence though, so SEN are going to be wanting to re-clear B main just in case.
This Astra smoke does make it a little difficult to do that though. Especially when Zelsis has the pit online, which he's going to want for a post-plant situation probably. If things get dangerous, perhaps he could save it for a rifle.
Abundance of caution from Sentinels here. Up against that weaker buy, for good reason.
Haunt thrown over towards A right now, so Carmen Core start to stack B. It didn't see anybody. Sassy might decide to try to use some Sky Util to pull people back away from the B site before this pop happens. But also that means that there won't be initiator utility with the site hit.
Narrate's running away, no, going back to heaven. Close corner, flash, Martin collects.
That's a great punish, it gives them the kill and it tells them to keep stacking B.
Here we go, Util being forced out of them with the Paranoia going flying. The pull on top of it, Tens cannot get through. In fact, spam down to just single digits of HP. There's 20 seconds left. Narrate's still there with the rocket in his back pocket. It's going to be pretty monstrous here. Pit just to get themselves out. 14 seconds left. Time becoming an issue. Up top. Second, but Narrate 2 for 2 on the way. Carmen Core full control. And no more chances here. No more chances at all for SEN. That's the danger when you take it slowly. That abundance of caution that I was talking about prior. Doesn't matter if you're playing against the half-buy. When you take your time like that, these teams are going to punish you.
I think the big play, I mean, I can't believe, by the way, that Zekken, even in a round where they lose, is pulling out that kind of stuff. But yeah, that is the combo of the ultimate there too, the Yoru ultimate, so that you can spam into the pit, the Raze ult that comes through locking up the round. But the pick that Martin got onto Sassy told them exactly what the play was. And that's what they've been missing the entire time. They've never been able to read what's happening, and even if they got the read, Zekken bowled them over.
Kamakor back into it. More than happy with it. Celsius ended up using it prior.
That one way is a little difficult.
Hello. No disrespect from Zekken. It's not for the util.
And he's one away from getting his ult online. How passive these positions are from Narrate and Magnum. Really far back in spawn.
Martin expecting player to walk right past the back wall there, holding his crosshair for it, but SEN have got different ideas. With ramp control game by John QT, he's lurked himself up there, caught that timing, so with that cleared, the rest of his team now regroups and meets him from mid.
Shin is looking very isolated on the A site. Narrate's trying to get into a position where he could help him. Now gets smoked off. That's going to be a danger signal. Alarm bells ringing.
Yep, TenZ ult does this a lot to just try and gather that information.
They're going the other way.
Like what he sees, yeah, going in the opposite direction. Players still ready here to meet them. Close to the corner. Martin has to do more than that, but he still gets the one kill for him. And B main control is there with Thomas. He smokes himself off now, pouring into the side of Sentinels. 20 seconds left. Nightfall, paranoia near sighted. Spike, drop down. Carmen Core rapidly approaching the position. And there's no way for SEN to bail themselves out. That is Carmen Core again in complete control.
Another lovely round there. Finding out what's going on with that constant control of B main. So this time, Celsius not deciding to re-clear that area of the map, gave KC good info. Now, they could have been miles away from the play. If they decided to commit A there, into Shin and Narrate, who was not, in screens, then that round could have been very successful for SEN. They decided to pivot in the opposite direction and ended up falling straight into that crossfire from Tamaji and Martin. Zekken ult online though to try and get things back in the hands of Sentinels. And I feel like Kamakor have had their most success actually by trying to play for the late round information and the late round picks rather than forcing the fight early on where, we saw Narrate and Martin getting punished in those earlier rounds.
It's almost like a stalemate just being drawn initially. Exchange that util, waiting for it out. Thomasy is going to be in trouble here, potentially. Forwards now with the ult flash into the corner. Rocket rebounds, there's no kill there. Thomasy's already repositioned. Spray by TenZ. Wrangles the beast and eventually takes out Narrate, but the evacuation was successful, so Thomasy is alive, and now he's going to be setting his house back up with the orb up. He's got a free walkout into the site, wraps back to the pillar, sees potential connection. Players are weak, and this is an interesting one, it's an unusual one. Neural theft gives them an idea of where these players might be. The positioning's now highlighted, pointed out, 40 seconds left, but they don't have heaven control. No real way to play this one and fight this. Doubled up together, the double swing is called! Celsius finds two, flash through, Martin lucky for that one. Straight bullet, just going wide, but it finds the target. And a necessary one at that with 25 seconds left.
25 seconds, TenZ is going around the world. He's got his knife out trying to make this play happen, but Martin's already read it.
Watching.
They know there's no noise being made here. Someone must be going for a flank. He's missed the angle.
Tap. Sassy trying to push the players and pull them away. They're looking the wrong way. Shit up top. Oh my. The minor moments making a difference there. Tiniest of differences.
A comedy or a tragedy, depending on which side of the equation you're on. But that round came down to, as you said, the smallest things. Martin was so aware that a flank was coming through, he just believed that he could spot the head. And then the tap is beautifully timed from Sassy to pull attention away. TenZ had no idea where Shin was.
No idea.
Just didn't clear afters. And now KC have won 3 rounds in a row to get themselves back into this. It looked dominant for Sentinels, but they have lost their grip on this map so far. Oh, here we go, the paranoia play.
Yeah, Dimensional Drift sets it up as well, pinged out a multitude of targets. Martin.
Too many.
Exited out, yeah.
Far too many for Martin to deal with.
And I guess John QT is just playing anti.
That is such a nice play. And Sentinels have destroyed it. A lovely set play from Karmine Corp. Looked fantastic when they ran it in EMEA, but with 3 players there from Martin, bit off a little more than he could chew. And Ten's got the punish. So this does look like now a round where Sentinel should be massively favored. Magnum's positioning is the one that I'm looking at, down mid, wondering if he could get some kind of flank timing to turn this round. But it does look very much like Sentinel should be favored.
Should be, right, narrates down already onto the floor. He's caught the backhand a second.
And nobody in behind to try to get the trade.
Follow. Up spray, Magnum almost there with it. Nasty, nasty stuff.
So
3
much
players
danger.
Moving, pivoting, 40 seconds left. Making their way over towards mid, but they're making all the noise in the world. So Narrate is hot on their heels. He's right behind them. He's making a call for it.
But he can't afford to make noise, so he's got to travel more slowly. And that's allowed Sentinels the timing to be able to get into the site. Surely somebody is going to be watching for this.
Spike planted.
Surely, right, but doubled up.
Now this is where the Astral could be useful. Not going to be comboed, obviously, with Martins.
It's all about his crossfire setup. First point of contact, close to hell. It's John QT. Boombot will clear him.
And actually,
feels his position up top. Celsius takes the fight.
Oh, it was all trying to distract as well for Shin to get this timing. And now I fear it is simply too late.
He realizes it, not even going for it, despite the money. Obviously, 2 of his players still basically brought down to 0, but you can feel the tension, man. I mean, how back and forth these 2 teams are, so closely matched.
It is gutting, though, for Karmine Corp. When you've been having a lot of success, letting the rounds tick down and playing for kind of late round advantages, and you decide, right, we've won 3 in a row, let's change stuff up and go for an aggressive play at the beginning. And that's just Martin not quite realizing that one of the players wasn't caught by the paranoia. Even if they all had been, there might still have been a bit too much there for him to deal with. But Eng is now going to call a timeout. We're headed into a tactical pause for Karmine Corp. Like I said, they tried to adjust the tempo there, but I feel like everything they've been doing in the early round, SEN have had the advantage. But it is so difficult to play patiently and slowly with their composition when you don't have a Cypher or a Killjoy or something like that giving you information.
Yeah. Double duelist, I mean, it necessitates, I think, as well, some of those aggressive plays that you see. Because otherwise you're starved of that mid-round information. You don't have a clue really where players might be landing. When the rounds go late, that seems to be where Karmine Corp are favored.
But we are onto our 11th round, and this only the first time out that either of the coaching staffs has taken.
Right.
Yeah, playing things, you know, trusting their team, even when they were down 5-1, I believe it was, to begin this. So Eng is now going to have his input. The only head coach at this event who's won a Masters before. Which is madness, but that shows you how new a lot of these teams, rosters, coaches are to the big stage here at Madrid. It was a very unusual qualification process. It does feel a little bit like a new era of Valorant, if indeed they can win out against the old guard, of which SEN, frankly, are kind of representing the old guard here. Sassy, Zelsis, Tens, all been to very many of these Masters events, or ones that happened a long time ago.
Karmine Corp, young and spry, looking to try and take a big scalp early, but got to offset this disadvantage in the rounds. A flash repeat through, stun, a little bit too late. Martin rips the head clean off Zek's shoulders.
And they decide to fight that. I mean, a massive fight there, comboing the Prowlers with the Boombot, so they have even more utility to try to stop Zekin from entering. That's the first time they've actually blunted the tip of the spear.
Flash connects, second one used now, Sassy, no more left available to him, sees.
That is a big seize.
Does connect, yeah. Stops him in his tracks for just a moment. Smoke, finally. Props up, divides up the site. That's going to be putting the fear of God into them, I think. Thomasy just setting that one down, but they realize backside is going to be cleared. Planting a default spot. What's the call now for Sentinels? An aggressive play into the spawn. Paranoia. Oh my, it's almost perfect. Thomasy though, he's got the escape. Planned down at the back of his head, just the TP away, having control, not giving up at all. TP, heard by TenZ, breaks it. No funny business allowed. The rate already in, leading the charge and through the back, twisting and turning. TenZ is brought back up, but it's a 1v3. And now he's got to weave and dodge and juke. Diffuse being stuck by Shin, half on it already. Too much to deal with, surely it is.
Looked impressive there, that spray control. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried for a moment. But Shin had it under control, and frankly, the numbers just a little too much there for TenZ to deal with. What a retake from KC. That's probably the first one where we've seen them have a proper execute on that. They really nicely come out of this timeout with two big plans. One, to stop the early round aggression, in the way that Zekken was dominating them in those first 6 rounds, and the other to be able to set up a clean B retake there. Cosmic Divide, the flash through with the double blast back, perfection. They have a chance to be able to tie this up at the half.
Wouldn't that be something after that blistering pace the SEN have just come out of the gates with? But almost equalized.
And with a major tool in their back pocket with regards to Narrate's ultimate. We've seen Sentinels run some of these slow rounds. And in fact, it was a bit of an eco when Narrate used his showstopper before to be able to get success.
Presence, prior conditioning by SEN here. Usually there's a player following up, usually Zekken with the Trailblazer.
This time though, the Prowler not catching onto anybody until it hits Sassy. So I think they can be fairly sure that that isn't where Zekken's going for. Martin!
Wow.
He tries to go for the info peak, punished.
I know exactly.
Boombot to set it up here. Neural theft as well, so info gathered. I notice anchoring spot, but what do they choose to commit into? A call again made to just contact through.
You do not want to give a timing here for Narrate to pop his ult.
That's what it comes down to. Nade rebounding. Satchel's now in towards the back of the side. Shin! Nasty! Anchoring position! And that's 3 in a round. Rocket might not even be necessary. Narrate. Fuse running out, doesn't know where to fire it. Pre-fire into the corner. That is ridiculous. And now just TenZ. Last alive. Disconnecting, snapping the cord and the tether. The C's not there with a paranoia. Blind as a bat. 6-2-6 for Carmen Core. What a return to equalize.
Incredible comeback, powered by an excellent timeout as well taken. Both of the Smokes players, I say both, I suppose Thomas's also playing Smokes, but Shin and TenZ up towards the top of the scoreboard. And Shin with a perfect cap put on the end of that.
Absolutely impeccable stuff from the anchoring position. Now earlier we heard from the Rate a little bit before this match as well, heading into things. Let's see what he had to say.
Nerves going into the match. I just think about playing the game that's in front of me and learning as I go, because obviously our team is a very young team, so it's really important for us to just learn from every match. I didn't really have any doubts about whether or not I'd make it to the international stage. For me, I don't really think about winning or losing, but me personally, like every game that we played in EMEA, I just felt like we couldn't lose.
Flying here, but again, no connections. Martin towards the back, trying to go wide here with a dizzy. Narrate is on one, man. He's on one. Almost there for the ace, but 4 kills eventually shut down in the end, but 7-0.
Merci to the French fans. I appreciate everybody for coming out. It's incredible that so many French fans come to Madrid just to watch us play a video game. It's really an incredible thing, and I can't thank you guys more.
Arena certainly filling up with quite a lot of that. The cheers from the blue wall. You can hear it building, emanating.
And with all of the success that Zekken had on the attack side playing Raze, now our eyes are going to look towards Narrate, who you just heard from, and Martin together. The double-pronged tip of the spear. Does that make it more of a fork, I suppose, the Carmen Core 2-pronged fork? But Carmen Core's composition, the double duelist, I think it does look better on the attack side and the retakes. You know, not so much in that mid-round battle on defense. But they weathered the storm. They won 5 out of the latter 6 rounds to be able to tie this one up. And now we get our second part of this big discussion. The things are even here. It resets. We know that Sentinels retakes have looked unbelievably good. Does Karmine Corp offer them the opportunities? Are they able to get advantages early on? What does this half look like?
Familiar scenes from the previous half of how slow going it was just off the rip.
All of this is all just a fake to allow Karmine Corp's players to mostly try to take space on A.
It's pulled it forwards. I mean, you've got 4 players of Sentinels looking for a reclear, fight through the smoke as well, setting up for the flash. Through, and the timing gone away. Even as it goes, 2 for 2 here. Karmine Corp, in the meantime, walking away through, going to be hearing them on the ropes, so now the sound cue's betraying them.
John deciding whether or not to swing, tried to find a timing, didn't quite manage it. TenZ still with Paranoia, so they still have flash nade to be able to put pressure on these elbow players. Martin, though, is very far away. Do they anticipate this?
Miles away. Could be exactly what they needed. Trip wasn't broken. They're walking all the way in again. TenZ opens himself up, just showing himself at the back. Nade rebounds. Paranoia now. Kind of connection if there is going to be any sort of follow-up from behind.
Oh,
Martin
no
has already caught them. And it's all up to John. Low enough, dodges the flash, expecting and anticipating, but now 2 players to deal with. The reposition is immaculate from the rate. And with a pistol round under their belt, they're going to be more than happy with it.
Yeah, great attempt there from Karmine Corp. I think they looked coordinated as a team. You could see that they had a clear game plan going into it. That got disrupted a little bit by the camera. Their team was thinking about calling the audible and going to punish the players in mid. They decided, no, let's just commit to site, play a post plan. When Martin's positioning, even though he was tripped off, ended up being really important.
Let's go!
That pistol means so much. You were tied 6-6. You've taken the lead for, I think, the first time in this map.
Feeling of control returning a little bit for Karmine Corp. Not too used to being on the back foot. Hasn't happened too much, really.
No, and it's another one of these rounds where we're just seeing both teams rotate around away from each other.
Race hunting. Yeah, he's hunting. You can smell the blood in the water. Backing down, wants a little bit more as well. Just some stray warning shots popped off.
It would be a major ultimate to try to get up.
That's part of the reason why he's playing so aggressive.
And I think the other reason is both of these teams want to play disruptive against the other team's retakes. You see them on paper, both of these teams have ridiculous retake win percentages, especially on split. So trying to play aggressive and catch timings in the post plant, one of the best ways to disrupt that.
Hello.
That's an anticipation from John Cutie, though.
Expecting it. Surely no danger, though, in the round.
I don't believe so. I think these players are just going to look to die to spike. They do not want to start the ult cycle going for KC. It's disciplined. It's a good call.
Yeah. Not enough time there. Everybody going down.
Martin did actually manage to pick up a kill, but he was nowhere near getting the ult online. So this is going to be a pretty dry bonus round with some good weaponry, but no danger particularly coming from the ultimate side of things. We've seen KC not really rely on too many of their set play ideas here. They threw kind of 1 in, 2, I suppose. The B retake, and then that aggression with the Euro ultimate and the Paranoia. But on their attack side, we could still see a lot of new stuff that KC have cooked up for Masters Madrid.
KC being one of the more creative teams that we've got at this event, really innovating in terms of just the compositions. Even ways to counter-strat. Walking up through there with a Flash Prowler. Right through the snake bite. They do not care, and TenZ just taking a peek there from heaven. Punished. Celsius spotted. Boombot lucky. He gets away, hightailing it, but guess what? Right behind him is Narrate.
Sentinels are trying to apply pressure with these peaks in B heaven. The first one got punished. Celsius also looking for information, seeing if he can catch somebody. It's a little worrying here if John Cutie gets pushed away, but Shin almost taking the fight.
There it is. Walking right into it. Good crosshair placement from Celsius, and he recognizes it as a threat coming from behind. Satchel through! John! What is that? QT quality tactics. This man just hitting nasty shots. C's avoided. Narrowly now, but 2 players left to stand here for Karmine Corp. Spike in their possession.
Look at this flank. This is really nice from Zekken and Sassy. It's going to be unexpected.
30 seconds left.
Magnum's stuck in the middle of the map. He doesn't know where to go here. They only have 25 seconds.
Wondering about 20
John's
seconds.
ready.
This fight is so important!
Unbelievable!
He wins that! 4 HP and a dream.
And now look how far away they are!
They are miles away, but they know it. It's going to be planted towards B so they can get a jog on and get a move on.
Oh, he
but
missed it.
Magnum, he missed it! Has to stick it again for the plant. Luckily, time to spare. Horn thrown. But that's a critical mistake, honestly. He might not have time now to reposition. Backing to the pillar. Fast through Satchel in the back! And that's just good comms. Knowing that Magnum was that low, all adds up for Zekken to just run him down with a classic.
Very well done. I'm amazed, frankly, that John was able to get both of those kills. It did look a little off from KC. As Narrate went for that blast pack peak, where was the second player? The spacing, not quite there. Now, John's aim, fantastic. And the spray control, too, to be able to pick up the second is ridiculous. But KC are going to need to have super tight play if they want to be able to keep this advantage.
Crowd building up. Barrier's going to be dropping. Carmine Core fully grouped up as 5. By around 4 with a Haunt and a TP, so.
Face your fear!
Gain control, Nightfall scatters. Going wide, Sassy. There is danger here for him. He's tucked in a very forward position.
He's
no
there.
follow-up, yeah, he can't see or hear. Bloody thing, Narrate already into the back of the side. Magnum now with the plant. And Narrate wants to go hunting for a little bit more this time, aware of it. Both of these teams trying to disrupt that retake potential, and it's only just equalized it now 4-2-4. How does this get played? Into the post plant, players close up, into the position still with the paranoia available. Flash through, now the paranoia, it's there, spraying forwards, gate crash wide, damage done to Martin, but he still survives. Alive and kicking into the back of the side is Magnum, tucking, dodging, weaving, tens forwards. This is relentless by SEN.
Really lovely play. Relying on that individual ability that's coming out from Tens and Zekken. They've been tearing apart the KC players in terms of duels taken. And you see the difference in style there. Really solid awareness to be able to punish Narrate, who went for that same piece of aggression. Something now that SEN are expecting. But in terms of just also the duels won, I mean, Tens is swinging. Not completely alone, but certainly going to try to take the 1v1s. And they're winning them. So now the score is 8-8, but the economic advantage in favor of SEN. KC can't buy. SEN have ults. Primed to take the lead back.
Closely matched. Such a high degree between these two teams here. Satchel.
Zelsis got spotted by the Prowler.
Yep, spotted, Haunt, cleared. He needs some help here. Decoy forwards. Showstopper relieved from Zekken. That was just to try and spot that one player. He's got a timing. He's right past him. Ships in the night. All the way through. Shin wins it out, but still the follow-up there from Tens. Hopping across the box. This man is just hunting them down.
And if that fight in mid had gone slightly better, Narrate's timing might have been worth something. But now is stuck in a 1v4. They have the timing to be able to go and look for him. And they pick it up. Sentinels deal with that. It was scrappy, but they came out to the good in mid. That was absolute chaos, but I'll tell you what, Zekken and Tens look amazing in those spots. When things get really messy. Look at Tens here. The way that he plays around all of the smokes and decides to go in aggro, he just looks really aware and quick in these moments. And now he's gonna pick up the operator. We saw some unbelievable rounds.
I mean, some silly rounds.
One in particular.
Oh, yeah.
And here we go, fast up mid for KC.
Narrate! He's punished! Oh, he's a big player for Carmine Core, especially when he had the rocket available, but he's taken out early. Haunt broken. Spam.
The molly was
their position.
The molly was amazing from Zelsis. He caught a little bit, I believe, of vulnerable onto Narrate, so that he only needed half the spam to be able to take him down. Great punish. I mean, the decision making to do that so quickly and land it and not get caught with utility in your hands. Very sharp. Pressure back on KC.
Yeah. Silence settling in, isn't it? Carmine Core don't really have that advantage. Maybe just hoping to fake some presence with Marty on the other side of the side, but the jiggle is good from Sassy. He gets that information now. Gets himself back. Sentinel's not really biting that one. Already to full rotation. Coming through. But time to spare for Karmine Corp. They fake and switch and pivot.
And Martin has been continuing to put a little bit of pressure onto John Cudy's setup. He knows that there's a Cypher playing here. He knows where this trip is too. His clone caught it. Didn't break it, of course. But he hasn't made too much noise up here.
As we divide. Feels like B now, but breaking the trips as well. It's all over the place. Zelsis just takes a peek, take a gander. Zekken, is your turn to shine. Swings out wide. There's that operator. Hello! What a surprise. 12 seconds left. There is no way in hell Martin has any chance in this round now. Just got to give it up. Waiting at the sidelines now, and the team going to be simmering.
Economy crushed. This is where SEN are starting to pull away. And it's not based on the retake stuff. It's based on punishing, again, that level of aggression from KC. And they did win one of the previous important rifle rounds by going for a slower paced retake, stopping their 8 from getting inside that smoke. But these rounds, they've just shut Karmine Corp's early round ideas down. And now SEN are primed to pull away to a 3-round advantage. Only 2 away from taking the map. This is where things really matter. The pressure starts to mount. And these players who are new to a stage this big, most of them, going to be listening to their coaches here, getting that input and trying to stabilize themselves. They did look a little bit shaky, I would say, in the game against FPX to open things up. I don't think it was the best performance we've seen from KC. Today looks a bit cleaner, but how are they going to perform in the big moments, the ones that test you and add all of that mental weight?
Could argue outside of that EMEA finals, there really hasn't been anything bigger. Think about the stakes of this one. You win this series, you book the ticket to the playoffs. Not just a couple of days rest, but listen, that's preparation time. That's you going through as presumably a bit of the higher seed.
And that's dodging the other sharks in the water.
Oh yeah, that lower, I mean, we call it a lower bracket, but I mean, the losing teams, there are no bad teams at this event.
Nah. So KC here have some ultimates that might end up making the difference. Martin could get the Dimensional Drift online this round and cook something really interesting up. We're not counting Karmine Corp out by any means, but SEN are favored here. And look, Zekken with the op.
Yep. Adjusting. Nails a shot straight into the 8. Backing away here with the paranoia. Has to respect the TP. Through into the back of the site. Karmine Corp going to be given this one. What's the call now? Grouped up. Looks like it. Ready to try and take this fight. Shorty. Close. Flash. Satchel. Great movement. Zekken is blinded up entirely there. Couldn't see a bloody thing. And I also have another go of it! What a snap! And what an adjustment! A rifle for your troubles. And now the fight taken straight to them! They can't withstand it. This kind of pressure is way too much. And even Shin spotted out. Poor Shin.
That is an amazing round from Zekken. And the setup from the rest of his team there too. Tens throws a paranoia through for him to be able to blast back onto them. Insane value from the blast backs. He's full blind when he decides to use the one to disengage.
Get the hell out of here.
And then goes back in with the shorty. And that's following up on that blind.
Punishing the aggression, the game plans of Karmine Corp. Picked apart, plucked apart, the threads are unraveling.
And this round, it's a must-win for KC. Rifles, ults, they have it all.
Now's the time to offload all of them. Got to get your head back in the game. Got to try and stand a chance. But we're big enough SEN's defensive sides here. Flash connects, giving that information forwards. Dimensional Drift going to be clearing out that site, so it gives Karmine Corp the go-ahead. They know it's now fully cleared out. Straight bullet. Sassy's a kill trip. Set that one up. Rocket forwards. Everybody narrowly avoiding, just dodging away from it. Fuse running out. Zekken.
Damage.
Big damage. Sassy though, he's regrouped and refound that angle. TP broken. No gate crash for you, but still. Shin's in the backlines here. Flash repeat of Martin seeking to do some damage and take some risks, potentially tear away a couple of these players because they are disadvantaged. And this is SEN looking all the way now, set up for that 12th round. It's going to have to be hero moments. It's going to have to be individuals putting up big performances. Another flash. It's perfection. It clears them out in the open. One player left to stand. It's Shin.
It's just not possible, man. There's just absolutely no way He can hold on. The Sentinels retake utility there was perfect. There is no other word to describe it. They put pressure over towards ramp, grab a kill. They back off. They dog out through heaven. They have this kill trip to be able to set up at the start too. They then have another paranoia to layer on top of it. As they blast back into elbow, that catches onto Martin. So many waves of things. And KC's post-plant aggression cannot find any timing. They can't disrupt it, can't stop it. The war train keeps on going. 6 rounds in a row have taken SEN from losing to map point.
It's all in from Carmine Corp. This is it. Showing her hands a little bit early, forcing out the nade second. The timing through the wall, Paladin spots him! And the raid's finished! Run and gun! Drive-by going wide, anger in position of Sassy. There's safety in numbers, and numbers are arriving! But he doesn't need them! Sassy, this man's in a class of his own when he's really on fire. And once more, poor Shin. Left alone with the things, but that is Sentinels leading the charge and leading this series.
What outrageous dominance in the second half. The first, full credit to KC. They came back into it and made a go of that.
They really did.
But when SEN got onto defense, there was no stopping them.
One of the scariest teams out there, of course, and absolutely electric.